Hi, welcome to another episode of Hubert's Hot Rods and Fabrication. We're going to be working on the tail pan on this 37 Ford Coupe. We got to get it fit. We have a lot of work to do. So let's take a close look and come up with a plan. Okay, well, the only smart idea that I can come up with that makes any sense is for me to go ahead and extend this sheet metal up on the new tail pan. Create, fabricate new pieces that are going to come up to right about this area here. I'll be in the straight here of the channel. I will have to remake all of this channel, which is not a bad thing because it's all crusty and roached to begin with. There's holes in both sides. It's in really bad shape. So I'm going to get the template paper. I'm going to get my templates set up, and we're going to template that out and come up with an idea of exactly how I want this to look. All right, I'll try to catch this the best I can on video. I got clamps holding the tail pan in place. It's not exactly where I want it to be, but it doesn't matter for right now. We're just making a template to extend this panel out like I spoke about. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Stupid mosquitoes. Get a couple pieces of magnets on there. Hold it into place. Start marking. Get it different. I use a crayon for this where I'm just going to mark the edge. It works a lot easier and better than a pencil. Okay. Now our seam is way up here. We're going to leave this long, and we're going to be right about here, I think. Yeah, I like it. Maybe a little higher. Okay. Now I'll try to get that body line in there. All right. Trim this up. Again, leaving it longer than even my mark until I get it up there and see exactly how I want it. There we go. Body line lines up. Everything's lining up nice. Sorry, working, not thinking to talk. But here we go. Everything's lining up good. Get rid of that corner. So that lines up there. Okay. Let's check it to the other side. I mean, we're just going to flip it over and do a rough check, and it's nowhere near where we want it to be. So this is the side to side isn't the exact same, and that's okay. So this is the passenger side. We'll have to make one for the driver's side. All right, we've got our templates all set up, and we got a couple magnets on there holding them into place. Our body lines are looking good. We got a little bit of length here and there on some spots. This one needs to move over just a hair. So then you call me out on it. No, I'm just kidding. But there, that lines up much better now. That's going to be perfect. Now it's time to make them out of metal. All right, here we go. All right, I'm all set up here. Got me a sheet of 18 gauge that I had in my scrap pile there. We are going to do this. This is how I do it. Yeah, I'm going to magnet this down. Sorry, I got goo all over this thing. Metal shavings, you know. Fab shop. All right, we're just going to magnet this down, throw a few magnets on it, trace it out, trace out the outer perimeter using a fine line Sharpie. Cleaned it all with denatured alcohol. Get all the dirt and oil off of the sheet metal before trying to mark it so you have nice, good marks. This outer edge isn't going to matter. I'm not sure how much of this we're going to keep. This is that folded over edge that goes into the channel. I don't know if I'm going to cut that off yet or not. Or try to make it all in one piece. But I'm going to leave it long enough to make it at least the first bend of that channel and make it a 90 degree. Then I'll have one side of the channel, and then I'll probably make the other side of the channel come back around like this, so it's really, really strong. But anyway, I digress. There's the first template. Let's go ahead and get it cut out. Actually, pause. I want to get both templates on there before I go cutting it. We'll bring this one all the way up to the factory edge. I say factory edge, but it's a clean cut edge. How about that? We're gonna hold on to these templates for a while, so make sure you don't jack them all up. We still have to transfer body lines and make any adjustments on the template first. But you make a good template, you don't have to do that. All right, now I can see that if I just make a straight cut here, that'll make this section a lot more manageable, and I can cut my sheets, my pieces out. So I'm going to get a straight edge so I can make a nice clean cut there. Here we are. We're just going to take the straight edge. Give me enough material to work around. That way it leaves me with a nice square leftover sheet. I'm going to have to move my welder. Okay, this I'm going to do by hand. So these fine lines I'm going to cut out with the shear, the hand shear. All right. You know, I've had this Woodward Fab shear for over 10 years. I've cut everything from stainless steel sheet to stuff I definitely shouldn't be cutting in here. Round bar. It's got a little round bar hole in the side and everything. Man, this thing takes a licking and keeps on ticking. All right. But anyway, I'm going to do the rest by hand. All right. We've got those all cleaned up and figured out. All right. Now we got the templates back on there. The outer darker mark is the crayon mark, which is the outer edge that's the channel, and then this is the body line, the pencil mark. So these are the body lines. I'm going to transfer the body lines in there first. Those are what I'm going to put in first. So I'm going to try and show you this, how I do this. I'm going to fold this back right on my line and use that, even though it's at an arc, I'm going to use that as my body line template. Let's see here. Okay, now right there, see, body line. Ooh, it's magic. All right, let's do the same thing on the other one. Quit playing around. Okay, nice line. All right, to the bead roller. Okay, I'm all set up in the bead roller, and I think now is a good time to talk about this because this is a real thing. You can I mean, there's a very good potential. I'm not sure. I don't have a stamp. I don't have a way to just stamp this metal and it form exactly how I want it to be. Yes, I have experience and I understand how to shape metal, but I can always create scrap just like anybody. So that's part of trial and error. So yes, there's a very good possibility that I'm going to do something out of order or something different than somebody else might do, but it doesn't really matter if I end up with the same result. But in my head, I'm going to put a body line in this, and then I'm going to start to shape this in the planishing hammer. I'm going to get radiuses on this in the planishing hammer, and then I'm going to start to shrink the outsides to start to get the radius to fit the body. Makes perfect sense to me. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's get after it. Right now, I'm just metal to metal on my dies. I'm running an offset die right now. It's an art die from Eastwood. They're not right on top of each other. They're slightly offset. Once I run that in there, it should give me a nice body line profile. I'm going to go over it a couple times. As you can see, it's still pretty loose. So I'm going to go ahead and crank it down. There's 1, 2 turns is good. We'll go the opposite way. Nice and slow. Okay, that gave me that offset profile that I was looking for. Now let's take a look at it on the car and see if that's what we need. We're doing the passenger side first. I always like to start on the passenger side. So we are going to just kind of tuck this in here and see how that looks. I mean, that's going to fit my piece good. This is bent out after that run in there, but if we just put a little bend in there to get it to the direction we want it to go, that body line is looking really good. It's super crisp compared to what the actual existing sheet metal is, but we'll fix that. Little hammer and dolly on this crisp line right here, this outer line that's on this body line, and that'll go away. Okay, so we're going to continue. I need to start planishing this area to get this to roll around and start to actually have some shape because it's still very flat. We need a radius in it. So it's going to need a radius this way and a radius this way. We're going to achieve this one by planishing it in the planishing hammer, and we're going to achieve this one by starting to shrink this outer edge. So let's go. And there you have it. After just a few minutes in planishing hammer, we are able to get the shape that we want there. And I was able to put some radius in here too. Yeah, it's looking really good. I thought I'd have to shrink this outer edge, but just the planishing hammer radius is bringing it right to where I need it to be. So I love this. This is great. This is exactly what I need to be. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with this channel next. But let's get the other side caught up to this. Okay, here we are. Got both sides up there. Got both sides clamped into place. Got them fit. Body lines lining up really good. This one's going to have to get trimmed a little bit. It's running into the fender. It's got to come down. I'm not going to trim that yet. This side, same thing. This is overhanging a little bit. I'm not going to trim that yet. I'm going to pull the fenders off. I'd rather get a good accurate scribe line on that on the inside before I try to just guess where it goes on the fender. Plus, I may bend that over a little bit, but we will see what I end up doing. The next step is I need to get these two pieces of metal fit together. So now I've got to fit the pieces that I made to the new tail pan. I've got to keep the body lines aligned on everything while I work on it. So I got to figure that out. that's the next step, is to get all that situated and get these two pieces fit back together better. But they are looking good, and it's looking really close right now. Well, all right. In the time lapse, I went ahead and I ran the tail panel through the bead roller to crisp up these lines a little bit. That was the idea there. I've still got to fit these pieces to them. They've got to fit together better. I've got to do that. I'm going to do that off of camera, get those a little bit better fitting. And then I'm going to go ahead, and I've decided that I'm going to get those fit, and then I'm going to cut the excess off, and then I'll start to make the channel. Reason being is if I start to bend this, and I bend this channel in here and I'm slightly off, this whole piece turns into junk. So to move forward faster, this is the easiest way, is to get these two pieces fitting together. So that's the next step. Like I said, I'm going to do that off of camera. As of now, this video is long enough. There's going to be a part 2, and we'll work on that next. But for now, I'd like to thank all of you for watching this far. I'd like to thank you for subscribing if you have. And if you haven't, please do. It really helps the channel. Helps me know that y'all are paying attention, are watching, all that good stuff. Tell your friends about me. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.